Hello and welcome to the British Roller Derby Championships 2018 playoffs here in sunny Stoke-on-Trent. My name's Pandemonium.
Hello, I am Very Cherry. Thank you for joining us here and thank you for having us here to talk and bring roller derby to you in your very homes and for some of you for the first time on your TVs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to the BBC for having us and raising awareness of the sport, which we've all come to love.
Come to love. I've been here for 10 years.
It's been taking its time, but we're finally on the bee.
Yes.
So exciting. Now, the game that we have in front of us today is Cambridge Rollerbillies, also known as Romsey Time Rollerbillies, playing in green.
And we also have Hull's Angels Roller Derby, who will be playing in black. So we have black and green versus green and black. So we will probably stumble a little bit with the colours because that's roller derby for you.
Sometimes you do have very similar colours in terms of, well, it might be dark green and light green, different shades going on, but you will always find that you'll have a prominent colour within each of the uniforms. So the green goes down to the Romsey Town Rollerbillies, or Cambridge Rollerbillies as they're also known.
Yep, and black belongs to Hull's Angels this afternoon, and it brings us great pleasure to read you the rosters. Now, if this is your first time of listening or watching, roller derby, you will now notice that nobody really skates under Sarah Jones. It's very made up kind of stage names. And to read you the roster for Cambridge, Panda.
Okay, so it's 0420 Kamehameha, 101 Betty McBoom, 1918 Smacktivist, 1928 Lisp, 240 Electrocute, 256 Ankle Biter, 36 Donna K-Bats, 49 Paninaphrin, 50 The Law, 55 Genghis Khan, 69 Hermaphrodite, 77 ZZ Strop, 8238 Headers, 85 Alexander Jamilton, and number 9 Dangerous.
All right, so we've got 30 seconds left on the clock, which means the game will start very soon as we can see everybody on the track. I'm just going to quickly run through your roster for Hull's Angels, and then we can commentate on the game in front of you. So playing for Hull in the black, we have 10 Thrill Murray, 18 Wheelie Bins, 19 F-Bomb, 20 Milv, 21 is Olivia Newton Bomb, 30 Melancholy, 33 Purd is the Word, 46 Smith, 55 Russian Panda, 57 Hijacks, number 6 Dastardly Danny, and 85 Wilkin.
All right, jam is underway. And you can see that we've got two skaters with the helmet covers on, with the star denoting that they are the jammers, they're the point scorers, and they have to lap the other skaters on the track, the pack of skaters. Both of them are, I was just going to say through the pack, but not quite. We've got Cambridge lead in that light green colour, and that's 5-point pass there from lapping all of the skaters, including the opposition jammer on the track.
And you get lead jammer by passing all of the opposition pack, except for the other jammer, cleanly and legally. And then you become the lead jammer. And the lead jammer, as I'm sure we'll see quite soon, gets to call off the jam by tapping their hips.
Perfect
a jam will
timing.
last, it was indeed. A jam will normally last for 2 minutes if no one has called it off or no lead jammer has been awarded. But often you will see very tactical play from our skaters, calling off the jam, to stop the other team scoring points or for other advantageous reasons, which we will tell you about shortly.
One of the other special positions on track, if you like, is a kind of high-level blocker. They've got the stripe helmet cover on. That gives them the opportunity there to be handed the star helmet cover and become the jammer. They're the pivot. They can become the jammer at any point during the game, and with the helmet cover is past them, we call it a star pass. So if we see that happening like we did in the last jam, we will try and point that out for you.
But what has just happened is Cambridge with Lisp as your lead jammer for the team in green.
So both of the teams have got a blocker in the penalty box. So the pack consists of 3 from each team at the moment. Lisp is up at the front there, that full body contact, keeping the blockers down at the front of the pack. Nicely done, keeping Lisp down, but got a little bit too far ahead of the rest of the pack. You can't engage too far away from them, so you need to pretty much just let them go.
Yeah, and if you do get a penalty, so if one of our wonderful officials you can see in the classic American black and white striped zebra style tops, if one of them blows their whistle at you, calls colour, number and a penalty, you have to go and sit down in the penalty box for 30 seconds. However, you could sit down for 1 whole minute if you do something really naughty, which hopefully we won't have to show you, but if it does happen, we will be sure to point that out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You will see the referees or the non-skating officials will signal 2 penalties. So they'll tap with 2 fingers on there as if they're wearing a watch.
Yeah, they look like they're being impatient, like, hurry this up. Lead jammer has gone for the 3rd time to Cambridge. That is Electrocute, who is your lead jammer. 14-0 currently. Only 3 minutes into this game though, Panda.
Recycling, other skaters now have, well, if you're knocked off track, you do have to recycle toward the rear of the pack, so you can see some skaters skating off track there to rejoin the pack at the back, which means, you know, if you cut in front of another skater on the track, it's classed as a penalty, a cut track penalty, and that's an illegal move, so you would be sent to the penalty box for that, yes.
And in the end of that jam, we did see a star pass, as Panda explained earlier, but it was a little bit in vain because Cambridge, who were in the lead jammer position, called off the jam before Hull was able to do anything with it. Lovely tactical play, as we've explained it, which is very lovely of our skaters to bring that for us and for you.
It's as if they can hear us.
I'm sure that, I mean, if they're listening, if they've got, you know, the red button by their bench, I'm a little bit concerned. You know, they should be concentrating.
So Cambridge very much in control of the game now with 23 points on the board. Donna Kay, Baps and Smith jamming, and it is Baps who has picked up lead. The pack hasn't really moved very far on the track at all so far, but now coming into those strong walls of players.
So just to give you a little bit of history, these 2 teams have already played a game today. So they had a warm-up game this morning, if you like, and now they are playing in this final game. Hull obviously were in the driving seat, so they want to get through to this final, as did Cambridge. So both teams, Panda, very used to winning.
Absolutely. Hijack's now wearing the helmet cover. We saw a star pass there from Hull.
And I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to bring you the names of our skating officials, because we do like to give them credit as well. So looking after the track and keeping everyone safe and legal, we have McFarlane, Trey Cool, Saz, Cat's Eyes, Frodo Buddins, Suey, Sven and Knight of Nye. And we'll bring you the off-skating officials in a bit. Have a cup of tea, and then we'll talk about them. But don't leave the room. Take your device with you to the kettle.
Of course, we don't want to detract from gameplay too much, so we'll try and do that in between the 2-minute periods that we call jams. So Lisp and Thrill Murray jamming. Cambridge still had very much control of this game, and it is Lisp picking up lead jammer once again.
Yeah, Lisp, a little bit of fact for you fact fans. Lisp in the last game got 2 35-point jams, which if you think a jam at most only has 2 minutes in it, and you can only score 5 points per lap, that is a pretty good target to be getting.
So you can see as the jammers coming back around to the pack now, the referee puts the hand down because they're going to be counting points behind their back. The referee is pointing to the lead jammer. That's how they know that they've got lead and they've got control of the jam. So they can call that off any point within that 2-minute period. If there's no lead jammer, however, that will run for the full 2 minutes.
Yeah, pretty rare to see a full 2-minute jam now these days. And there's 10 points on the board for Cambridge, freezing Hull's Angels out of the scoring situation as we're already 7 minutes into this game, Panda.
We are indeed, and some great defence that we've seen from both teams, but sadly Hull not managing to push too far forward to be able to get any of those leads. They've been denied consistently.
Denied. A little bit of penalty trouble, for Hull, as they've got 2 blockers standing up in the penalty box. So not really the start that they're going to want, and Cambridge, as we can see, ankle biter, they're really making the most of this, with Smith hot on her heels.
Well, ankle biter was out just ahead, and I think this is one of the first jams that we've seen where Hull have managed to get a jammer out, completing that initial pass. Ooh, have they managed to put any points on the board? It's the hits that count. You have to pass the opposition's hips, and it doesn't look like we've got anything on the board there for Hull, which is a shame really, because they were so close.
They were so close, and Hull have called a timeout. So as you can see, officials are doing the T signal, and the teams have 3 timeouts per game to use.
They do. We also have official reviews in case they do want to bring something up with the referees to then discuss, I suppose, in an official capacity.
It's basically your one opportunity to say, I'm not happy with that, can we discuss it? Everything else that goes on, it's a bit of a tough cheese really. You've got to go with what the officials say. So you might think you didn't touch them. I didn't touch them, governor. No, you're going to the penalty box if they say you are.
So you can see that the period clock here has stopped as the timeout is in progress. So the timeout runs for 1 minute, and then we will be going back into jam number 7 as we go on. So as I mentioned before, the jams can last for up to 2 minutes. If the lead jammer who has control of the jam calls it off, you can have jams that run for literally a handful of seconds in that time as well. Very short jams. They can be very fast-paced, they can be very slow-paced. The packs can move really quickly around the track, giving the jammers a lot of work to do to be able to catch up with them. So it can tire them out really easily.
It really can, and there's a lot of tactics to be had in that. You know, some of us have been involved in roller derby for many years, and we could tell you, you know, dictionaries full of tactics and plays that have either come and gone or are still very relevant today. And you know, our sport is very progressive and things are changing all the time. So you often don't see 2 very similar games, do you?
That's definitely true. At the moment we've got Baps jamming and picking up lead once again for Cambridge. Hull still struggling to keep the jammers struggling to get the jammer through the back walls, and you can see there's the 3 wall at the back there holding Hull's jammer down. It's sometimes difficult to see where it is the jammers are in the pack because they'll take the helmet covers off, they may put them back on their head, they may complete that star pass as we've just seen here. But to no avail, unfortunately, no more points on the board there. But Cambridge definitely running with this lead as we're just over 8 minutes into the first half. So we've got 30 minutes on the clock for each of the periods with about 15 minutes in between.
Excuse me, sorry. Talking about roller derby all day is thirsty business. Wish I was enjoying the cups of tea like you guys at home are. But it's our absolute pleasure to be bringing this game to you. And, oh, so close. Smith was the first one out of the pack, it looked like, but Lisp was obviously the first one out cleanly.
Yeah, so you need to make sure that you pass all of the skaters on the track to be eligible for lead. You might pass them off the track if you've both been knocked out of bounds. You do have the opportunity, however, to merge yourself back into the pack and pass that skater legally. But at this point in time, I think Hull are just going to be trying desperately to find some holes in those lines, trying to get the break down the inside line that we've seen so much of. Cambridge aren't really giving them any leeway.
No, not at all. Cambridge is showing that they mean business. Because don't forget, this is the tops of the tiers for these skaters. They should well be, and very much are, the creme de la creme of their respective tiers. British Championships does have about 4 or 5 tiers in it, ranging from, you know, almost quite low down to much higher. But forget about that right now. What's happening?
Thrill Murray has picked up lead jammer for the first time for Hull's Angels roller derby.
Yeah, fantastic to see Hull getting a bit of action here. Are we going to see some points on the board? 1 point, Panda, but that 1 point was well earned.
It was, breaking that 0 point streak with almost 10 minutes gone.
Very popular with the in-house crowd as well. We can see them below us cheering away, having a great time, because roller derby is full of people who come, give up their time and weekends and money to come and support their teammates, and it's very lovely. And I'm using my hands to talk, even though you can't see it.
But as you mentioned, yeah, we do have the skating and the non-skating officials. The skating officials in the black and white stripes, our lovely referees keeping everybody safe and making sure that everybody adheres to the rules. Referees on the inside, such as Sven there, lifting his arms up and calling no pack. That basically means that there weren't enough skaters skating in the closest proximity to be able to define a pack. They can't then legally engage with their jammers or other blockers.
Oh, there's so many rules. Just let us skate free.
Hull picking up lead jammer for the second jam in a row. Smith has got lead and is going to be scoring points on that next pass around. Baps is also out of the pack and going to be on a scoring pass, but Hull have control of this jam now and calling it off. You can see the tap, double tap on the hips there, calling the jam off, signaling to the jammer referee, and those 4 whistles calls it off.
And we did also get to enjoy some of Smith's beautiful out of the pack and backward skate skills. You do need to have quite a lot of roller skating skills to take part in roller derby, but you do not need any skate skills to start playing roller derby, do you? So many leagues around the country will get you up to speed from 0 to hero.
Absolutely, they will. On track, we've got Lisp and Wheelie Bins jamming, and it looks like Lisp out ahead, picking up lead there for Cambridge and regaining control of the game there. 53 points on the board at the moment. Cambridge are down a blocker and now so are Hull, so it's a 3-on-3 pack on the track. Wheelie Bins recycling toward the back of the pack, having to re-enter the track behind all of the skaters. Lisp picking up a 5-point pass, having lapped the opposing jammer as well as all of the opposing blockers.
Cheers in the crowd as Hull get a little bit further to getting their jammer through, but Lisp hot on the inside movement and breaks through. But Banner, we have now had a star pass, so Wheelie Bins has changed to Olivia Newton. Bomb.
This is something that we've seen quite a lot so far in this game, and I think it's something you do see tend to see nowadays in roller derby compared to, say, a couple of years ago. There was a change in the rules that meant that it was actually easier.
Yes. The great thing with roller derby is, great in one way, maybe not so much in others, is that the rules do change a fair bit because the sport is so developing. So a rule or a tactic that you were used to 2 years ago, you probably can't use now, but it's often to make the game flow. Literally that, to make the game flow.
Absolutely. Got some great replays on screen as well. And you can see some of that action on track once again. So back to the jam here. We've got Ankle Biter and Smith jamming. And it looks like Smith is out ahead, picking up lead jammer there for Hull's Angels. I think Hull beginning to get a bit of traction on track now.
Yes. Get your traction on, Hull. But we've had a star pass to ZZ Top for Cambridge, who was your pivot, is now the jammer. But Hull, who were in charge of that jam, tapped the hips, called it off. 66 plays to 9. 16 minutes left to go in this first period. Oof, might need a cup of tea and a biscuit at half time. I'm obsessed with tea. I don't even drink it.
But it's like, it's the British thing,
isn't
it?
It is the British,
so
and we are
British
on the BBC, darling. But I would much prefer a black coffee if someone could bring me one. But they won't.
Ready for the next jam. We have the 5-second call down there from the jam timer on the inside of the track. Donna Baps and Thrill Murray jamming. Both of our jammers straight into a strong 3-wall.
Yeah, beautiful defense here from Hull, just on the corner of your screen there. One blocker to get past. That is purred is the word. But Donna Babs gets straight past, no messing.
So Baps is going to be coming up on a scoring pass now. Thrill Murray still struggling to break through. Helmet cover in hand. Trying to fool the opposition into not knowing where they are, but I think pretty much you can figure out where your jammers are and just have a look at their hands, if they're holding the helmet cover. I think sometimes it is to try and fool them into thinking they're going for a star pass, especially if they're near the pivot.
Yeah, you can have what is called a star stash, which, as Panda said, is that sneaky move where the jammer takes the helmet cover off, but has probably got no intention of passing. She just wants to fool you like a mystery. And some more replays there. So what you can see here on the Cambridge bench is there's quite a few other people. Some of them don't have skates on. You can have about 4 or 5 people on your bench. You generally will have one bench manager who shouts a lot at the team. Tactics, of course. You have a lineup manager that makes sure that you've got 5 skaters coming on track. And then you might have other coaches on there as well. Maybe someone to help with what's going on the gameplay or strategy for the jammers and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people that bring this game together.
Smith now picking up lead jammer for Hull's Angels, and we didn't quite see it getting out ahead, but the ZZ Strop was recycled toward the back of the pack and then lost the opportunity to be able to get lead up at the front there. So good there for Smith, and picking up some more points for chance. Let's wait for the referees just to converse
There we
and
go.
confirm. 2 points on the board there for Hull. So 11 plays 71. Hull playing in predominantly black colours and Cambridge playing in predominantly green colours.
And also you will notice, as we said earlier, a lot of these skaters have got quite funny made-up names. There are skaters in across the world who do skate with their real names. Most people have adopted a skate kind of stage name. Most people even use their skate names in real life. No one calls me by my real name ever. It's always Cherry now. And that's just kind of cute. Some of the stage names, if you will, I think are really obvious where they've come from.
Yes.
Others you kind of like, can I ask, where does that come from? I want to know more about that name. You know, that's because everyone can make up their own name and it's kind of cute and fun.
It's true, you do get a lot of people that they have a pun on their own name somewhere along the line. But you can see Sven on the inside, for example, one of my colleagues from the Newcastle Roller Girls. His full roller derby name at one point was Sven Will I Be Famous.
Classic.
We did enjoy that. I remember Ballistic Whistle, particularly confused by that at one point.
Yeah.
That's a story in itself.
What you often get is, because roller derby is an international sport and we do get to meet a lot of skaters and players, is some of the names just do not transcend the continent at all. You do get a lot of American skaters confused, and you also got a lot of names from places like Finland where I'm like, I don't know how to say that.
Well, lucky for you, if you
I
need
know.
any help with Finnish, I can help.
Thank you.
So Donica Babs has got lead jammer there for Cambridge. Smith jamming for Hull, but holding the helmet cover on the outside of the track, trying to figure out where to recycle. Coming in, you have to be careful as well when you come in to make sure that you're not ahead of one of the opposing skaters, because that could potentially be a cut track penalty.
Yeah, if you've been hit off the track, you cannot gain an advantage by just nipping on wherever you fancy. You've got to go back around the skaters that knocked you off, including as well, even if your own teammates are in that kind of mess, you've got to know either where you got knocked out, or what I do is just join the back.
Yeah, sometimes it's just easier to go to the back of the line. It's like when you're at school, isn't
You're
it?
like,
And you're
"Oh."
told off for talking. Go to the back of the
Just
line.
go the back and try again.
I have a feeling you and I were probably told that an awful lot as children.
No. All right then, so we have got Lisp up against Thrill Murray, two very accomplished, two very tall, wonderful jammers out on the track, but Lisp grabs lead jammer there literally by pushing her blockers out of the way. Lead jammer has once more gone to Cambridge as Thrill Murray breaks through the defence at the front, but we can now see Lisp is coming up, looking to score against those like ping pong, what do they call it, like pinball machine style jamming.
Yeah, I like that analogy. So the jam called off there, and a nice little bit of replay action for you as we're coming through the inside of the pack. Bringing it out, nice little
lovely.
turn, tapping the hips and calling it off. As you mentioned about some of the contact there previously as well, if you're making contact, it is a full contact sport, as you can see.
Yep.
If you are making contact with an opposing skater, there are certain zones that you can legally hit. But when it comes to your own teammates, it's pretty much a
It's
case of just
open
grab them.
season.
Just grab them.
Just grab. Do what you feel needs best. Oh, ankle biter absolutely bombing their way through the pack there. Almost no offense needed. This now means that Hull need to set up some beautiful defense, and that one-woman defense they do set up, and that is Melancholy denying ankle biter what we call an apex jump.
So that would be along the inside line there, calling it off, leaning over the track line on the outside there. Had managed to narrowly
Let's have
avoid
a
the
look at
cut on the
this.
inside. Was going for the...
Oh, doesn't everything look better or worse in slow motion? Oh, but look at ankle biter's face. They're happy with that.
It was a nice angle to be able to see it from there, because we're looking straight kind of onto the track and straight at the scoreboard, which is the opposite direction from what you can currently see.
Yeah, so we're enjoying the replays and the camera angles as much as you guys are, really, which is fantastic because we're all in it together, kids.
We are, and we've got Donica Babs and Wheelie Bins jamming. It looks like Babs was a little bit further ahead on the pack there, but having now to recycle. Wheelie Bins has got the advantage of position, but still got a 3-wall to break through at the front there, trying to get in with the shoulder, trying to break that up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure the advantage of hitting that Romsey 3 wall is much fun for anybody.
Absolutely not, no. Babs has managed to break through there with up at the front of the pack and picking up lead Jammer. We've got Hull's pivot in the penalty box, so it's a 4-on-3 pack advantage here for Cambridge as Baps comes back round for another go at the pack. I think bit of a Newton's Cradle type hit there from one of her opposing skaters.
Yeah, I think we're going to see number 85, that is Wilkin, going to the penalty box for that back block. And would you like to know a quick fact about penalties? And I hope that this is correct.
Go on.
Roller derby is the only sport that doesn't stop for penalties. Correct me if I'm wrong, people of the world, but I'm pretty sure that this is factual. That yeah, it's just tough. You've got a penalty, off you go. The game's carrying on.
I'm sure social media will let you know if that's not the
well,
case.
I have it on good authority because I know 1 or 2 referees in roller derby.
Well, there you go. Let's see.
I'm probably wrong. Right, so Schindler's List straight. That's her full skate name. Schindler's List all the way through there, grabbing a lead Jammer as we saw Smith there taking the star off their helmet to try and deceive Cambridge, but it was a little bit in vain as the Lisp is through. Grabs the point, 99-11. Ooh.
Nice short jam there.
Very nice. As we said before, you very rarely see a 2-point jam. You see what we call this a hit it and quit it.
Absolutely. And it's sometimes you have our continental colleagues can refer to it as nickel and diming, so small change.
I like it.
Yeah, so you can have jams where you've got really low scoring jams, but they're happening really quickly. We've seen quite a lot of low scoring jams. We've not seen anything really going past the teens, I don't think, at this point. Electrocute now picking up lead Jammer. Cambridge very much in control of this game as they're on 99 points, about to break into 100 on this next scoring pass. Thrill Murray is also out of the pack and going to be on a scoring pass. The next pass through, but denied, as Cambridge break into the hundreds with 101 points.
I've got to give some credit there to Dangerous, who did some beautiful offense right off the line, getting their shoulder in under the hips of one of Hull's Angels to allow their jammer to sneak straight past. As Panda said earlier, there are certain places that you're allowed to put parts of your body. There's no real better way to say that. You can't use your forearm or arm to hold someone back, but my God, that shoulder can do some damage, can't it?
Oh yeah, shoulders
for days.
And hips, they're legal, and they're the biggest assets essentially when it comes to jamming, because they're the points at which you really need to try and break through the walls. Oh, and a cut track penalty that you can see from the inside of the track there called, and we have what we call a power jam. So one jammer in the penalty box. So Hull now have a power jam. I don't think we had lead jammer called, so it might still be open for Smith. That will be confirmed if she comes out of the pack. No, lead jammer is not available. So this is going to run for the full 2 minutes. On your screen, you can see that counting down in the top right-hand corner. I do apologise, Smith did take the start off as she was going through the initial pass, so that means that she was ineligible for lead jammer. But still scoring points, and that's what Hull need at this point in time. That 30 seconds is now completed as Cambridge have their jammer back on the track, as Baps is now in the pack. And off the track again, recycling now, being pushed right the way back behind Hijacks.
So as you can see, Hijacks is dragging what we call drag the pack back to the jammer, but using the other players to stay in play. Lots of tactics and whatnots to be had around that. Ask your local roller derby coach. They'll explain it much better than I did. But it does mean that you can drag the jammer so they've got an even longer road to come back.
As long as you're within 10 feet of the pack, you can still be considered part of the pack. Yep. And then the engagement zone ahead of the pack and behind the pack is within 20 feet. We do have some 10 feet markers on the track for reference for the referees, essentially, to keep an eye on that. You might notice at some point they might throw their arms up in the air, there might be an out of play warning, they might suggest that there's no pack, and at that point you need to disengage. You can't assist your jammers, you can't block anybody else. And it looks like not lead jammer there for Cambridge as well.
Yeah, so that jam coming to a natural conclusion. And Cambridge have broken the 100 mark. It's very common in roller derby to get to the 100, 200s kind of marks. And we just enjoyed the replay, sorry. So 101 taking on 20. However, Hull did score 9 points in that jam, thanks to that beautiful power jam. And it looks like someone's having a run-up.
Yeah, Wheelie Bins has taken quite a step back there to get a good run-up on the pack, but actually didn't really do too much as Lisp was out ahead, picking up lead jammer. Both of our jammers now are going to be on scoring passes as they go around. Remember, essentially in roller derby, people are points. Once you pass an opposing skater's hips, then you are eligible for a point.
Hull losing a player for multiplayer. Basically, that means you can use each other for, say, stability, but you can't hold and grab each other to make an unpenetrable wall. That is, I believe, the correct terminology as well.
Yeah, essentially you can't grab shirts, you can't lock fingers, you can't link arms.
Can't just like hold on for dear life as much as you want to.
Essentially you need to be able to push through
yeah.
the contact between two of the skaters on the same team, or else you could be then deemed eligible for that multiplayer block penalty, as Cherry so eloquently pointed out.
Thank you. So ankle biter up against Smith, and it is Smith, I believe, for maybe the second or third time, lead jammer for Hull. Very popular with the in-house crowd here for sure.
Yeah, I think any point at which Hull get lead jammer now, the crowd are just going to go crazy.
I think what is fantastic though with roller derby crowds is generally, unless you've got a vested interest in the team, you root for the underdog. Whoever's like struggling to get through, as soon as they break in, you're like, yeah, I'll give them a cheer.
I think, you know, even as announcers and officials, we have to be impartial, but I do find these games, even, you know, when you've got a massive differential in points, the underdogs actually, they bring up that excitement through the crowd, and I think, you know, it's good to see that when they get lead jammer and when they get some points on the board, everybody gets really, really excited, and you can see it on their faces, and they just get, they're really happy to be able to, you know, inch forward on the points, bring that differential down, and it makes a difference for them as well because it improves the morale. Yeah,
it really does. Sometimes you could be playing a game and you just need a bit of crowd to get behind you, but unfortunately the crowd can't help you with this one, as Thrill Murray has gone to the penalty box for a track cut, which means Electro Q is lead jammer for Cambridge and your only jammer on track. Hull are not going to be too excited about this one. I'll just use some words.
Well, we've got just shy of 2 minutes left on the period clock. If the jam runs through its full conclusion, we'll be very close to our half-time period. We may see a very different type of gameplay in the second half because teams can regroup in the half-time and come back with completely different tactics, and we've seen that quite a lot this weekend as well.
Yeah, definitely. One of the great things about having like a great bench crew, like 4 or 5 people there looking after you, is you don't have to wait till the next game to change up your tactics. You can just wait for the next 2 minutes and then come out and bring something new. And that could be something as simple as a different start position. Because when the jam starts, you can start anywhere really in those between the jammer and the pivot line. It could be putting a fresh jammer on. It could be putting a whole new makeup of people on that we call packs or lineups.
So the next jam's going to be starting with one of the Cambridge Rollerbillies in the penalty box. So it's 4-on-3 pack advantage here for Hull. We'll be having one more jam by the looks of things as we go into half time.
Yeah, so we've got Donica Kebabs up against Smith, but it is Smith through for lead. Smith's stats are going to be pretty tasty, I have to say.
Smith's had a good few jams, picking up lead status here, but having to recycle. We are on a scoring pass now. Oh, and there was a penalty committed there. It looks like it was an out of play block, so that block has gone to the penalty box. Smith still in control here. Oh, nicely done. Bit of pinballing, as you mentioned previously, through the pack there, but calling it off with a handful of seconds left. The only way we're going to get another jam in this game is if anybody calls a timeout, as we could well be going into...
And there we go.
Yeah, as I said, the long rolling whistle signifies that we are ready for our half-time intermission. So 15 minutes in total, as you can see the clock counting down in the top right-hand corner. We're going to be back a little bit before then. We'll be having a look at the penalties, and we'll be seeing everything that's going on as much as we can feed back to you. But for now, I'm Pandemonium.
And I'm Very Cherry. And we'll be back with you shortly. Hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining us here once more in Stoke for the Roller Derby British Championships here. This is game number 15 of this 2-day tournament, and we have got Hull's Angels and we have got Cambridge Roller Billies, my apologies. Thank you for coming back to us. The scores are currently 1-1-5 to Cambridge, 28 to Hull's Angels. But at half time, I was reminded by our wonderful producer, Stormageddon, that in the last game of the season for Hull, they were down 80 points and they only went and won it. So we are dubbing Hull the comeback kids of this tournament. So, Panda, do you think we can see a Hull's Angel 80-point kablamo?
I don't see any reason why not. It could happen. Anything could happen in roller derby.
Oh, you are not wrong there, Panda.
Well, hopefully we can have a look at some of the penalties coming up here. It's been a relatively light game. There's only one skater with 3 on the board. I mean, you know, you can't surpass 7 at any point or else you'll foul out. But Olivia Newton-Bomb is on 3 penalties. A couple of skaters on Hull's Angels with a couple. Thinly spread, I think. Little bit less on the Cambridge Roller Billies side. It looks like the predominant penalty there, a direction of gameplay. Oh, let me see. Yeah.
And also, before we start this second half, I would just like to remind you that we have some off-skate officials looking after this game as well. And they are being looked after by Sarah Tonin, with Ace Scrimmer, Cluster Schmuck, Fatal Attraction, Levitation, Brown of Terror, Pancake, Annika Weiss, Gastron, Resting B-Face and Ginger Snaps. And they are your off-skates officials. You can see them just in the middle there with their lovely tops on, in the black, looking very official, like you're at work, because technically they are.
Well, they are, yeah. This is our not day jobs.
I wish it was.
I know, that would be great, wouldn't it? Lisp and Smith now jamming, and we've got full force on the track from Hull. The Roller Billies down one of the skaters, but Lisp has got control of the jam, picking up lead.
Yeah, being one blocker down doesn't seem too much trouble there for Lisp, showing us her trademark, fast long strides there. But Lisp has been sent off for a forearm penalty. That means she made illegal contact, obviously with her forearms. So that means Smith, one of Hull's most prolific jammers, is in the power jam situation. No lead jammer has been called, so this jam will run for the full 1 minute and 18 seconds left to go.
So the pack now moving at a pace through turn 3 and 4, making the jammers work a little bit. That nice front line there from Cambridge. Trying to make sure the pack isn't breaking up too far, or else the no pack's going to be called.
Beautiful offense there from Hijacks, your pivot that you can see with the stripe on their helmet. For Hull, allowing Smith a nice easy access up that inside to grab some points.
Both of the jammers now back in the pack. And Lisp ahead at the front and out. Picking up 4 points on that last pass. Smith still struggling to break through those walls on the inside of the pack there. But going in for the apex hop, but taking a tumble. And a no pass, no penalty signal there from the referee. So 4 points on the board.
1 blocker apiece in the penalty box, which means we're back to evens, even though everyone is slightly down a player. Lisp at the front of the pack, but it's being held off, allowing Smith to literally just shimmy on through to the front. Points on the board for both teams. Equal points as well, Panda. I'm getting excited again with my arms.
Because Hull are suddenly picking up a little bit of momentum, and we said, they could well be the comeback kids of the tournament. And that would be incredibly exciting.
It would be exciting, especially for you folks at home that do not have a team that you're particularly supporting. Roller derby is fantastic if you are a neutral, because you can just enjoy it loads. But of course, if you are here supporting Hull, give them a cheer from your living room. They will probably hear you from here if you shout loud enough and get the cat involved.
And we saw that hit there on Lisp as she was taken down. Nice little replay action there. Back on track now, we've got Baps and Thrill Murray jamming. And we've still got a blocker apiece in the penalty box, so it's a 3-on-3 pack as Hull get up to full force and also pick up lead jammer.
And now we are, oh, excuse me, I'm getting so excitable. We have now had a star pass over to ZZ Strop, your pivot now jammer for the Rollerbillies. But Hull, call off the jam. Call off the jam. I'm going to say it like I mean it. And let's have a look at that slow-mo replay. Oosh, right round the outside.
Nice bit of toe stop work there as it come through for that 3-point pass.
That's a bit of a jammer's dream, really, isn't it? To just be able to like swing your hips to and like be like on your toe stops. I also get to this point of the game where I just use sound effects, you know, to describe things. So
sometimes it gets too exciting and
join
words
with
just
me,
fail
everyone.
us.
Join with me, everyone.
There's dancing as well. As we come in now, Electrocute is out of the pack, picking up lead jammer for Cambridge. Pack spread very thinly. No pack called by the referees, so no action happening there, but back into the walls as the pack's reformed. Electrocute looking for a break up at the front there and finding it, calling it off, taking a look at the referee then thinking, was that me or did I just cause that penalty?
Yeah, the problem is that there is only one whistle. Every referee has a whistle, but there's only one noise that's made for a penalty. So often you're like, me? But obviously some people do that because they know it's them, really.
I think occasionally I've seen a couple of jammers fall foul of hearing a whistle,
and
it's not their
track.
penalty, moving, stopping, leaving the track and actually losing out on the opportunity for some points.
What I do is just not leave the track until I absolutely have to, but that is naughty, so don't do it.
You be careful you're getting insubordination penalties at that point. Ankle biter and Thrill Murray jamming. Cambridge with the disadvantage of a blocker in the penalty box at the moment, holding up an incredibly strong wall there at the front, as they've also sent in number 55 Genghis Khan to do a bit of damage to that front wall.
Yes, that took a whole 30 seconds for Thrill Murray to be called lead, but Ankle Biter, living up to her name, is chasing her down.
Going in for a bit of jammer on jammer action at the back there.
But Thrill Murray, I'm getting confused, my apologies. Thrill Murray calling the jam off there. There is a skater called Thrill Collins that plays for Tiger Bay, so hello to you if you're listening.
The fills and the thrills, we're getting them mixed up.
Oh, it's just too many.
Ooh.
Oof, you're going into sound effects again.
Yeah, just watching the replay. It's the empathy in me. So Smith and Lisp lining up to jam.
We've seen these two jammers coming up against each other quite a few times in this game, haven't we? And that is really common in roller derby, to see two jammers almost like, you know, long-standing rivals, isn't it?
It's true. You do tend to find your lineups will match, and as soon as your bench coach and your lineup manager realise actually this is a really good, you know, opportunity for both of these jammers to face off against each other, you will start to see that it happens so much more often. But now we've got a power jam situation. Lisp's in control.
Yeah, Smith sent off there for a forearms penalty, which means this jammer pairing has been separated for 30 seconds, and Lisp will have the run of the mill to themselves, which means we get treated to the beautiful Hull defence and Cambridge offence.
Indeed we do. The pack spread out now, not really engaging with the jammers. It's just a one-on-one up at the front there. Some nice rotation in the blockers there as Lisp manages to finally break through with a 5-point pass, having lapped everybody on track.
But we were, as I said, treated to that wonderful defence of hijinks, and purred is the word.
Another 4-point pass on the board there. Rollerbillies now in control once again, moving through that front pack. Lisp has got the break on the pack at the front, nicely done with a 4-point pass.
So we now see hijinks with the star in their hand. Obviously, was the pivot, could now well be the jammer, but they don't have the jammer hat on just yet, so they're kind of like jammer in waiting right now. And there's the star on head, so now they are the jammer. Welcome to jamming, hijinks.
So still in control here, Lisp, as we go down to the last couple of seconds of the jam. So the jam run, it's full 2 minutes, even with the lead jammer there, as Hijacks takes a seat in the penalty box. So we're going to have a power start in the next jam for the Rollerbillies.
Yeah, getting a power start is one of the most advantageous pieces of play. You could be gifted by the other team. It means you get to really have full control of the start, and the starts, ask most teams, they will tell you the starts are kind of where it's won and lost.
So that last jam was 24 points on the board there for Cambridge. As far as I recall, that's the highest scoring jam of the game so far. 153 points on the board versus 41. Cambridge still in the lead. We've got Baps and Hijacks jamming. Hijacks still in the penalty box, so it's power jam and a power start on this jam.
But we do have Hijacks standing up in the penalty box. You stand up when you've got 10 seconds left to go.
Pack
signifies to everyone that you're about to come out.
It does. The pack was really spread there down to, between turns 2 and 3 down the straightaway. We've got Hijacks now coming in with a lot of energy, but causing a cut track and going straight back to where she came from. So now Baps has got full control of this jam.
Yeah, a bit of risky business there from Hijacks. That inside toe stoppery, as I like to call it, really can play off, but sometimes it really can fall foul of it. And unfortunately, Hijacks, as we said, is back in the penalty box. So Baps has got a really not needed power jam, but Cambridge make the most of this opportunity.
Yeah, pushing that point differential out now. They've already had a 5-point pass, and it looks potentially like there's another one in play. But as I said, she was knocked to the outfield. Baps having to recycle back between turns 3 and 4, but decides instead to call it off as the Hull's jammer is standing in the penalty box. So another power start here for Cambridge. And we're going to see Hijacks starting again from the penalty box for the second jam in a row. She is standing, so there's less than 10 seconds left on the penalty time there.
What's quite interesting here, thank you to our wonderful producer who just brought this to our attention. Smith, who has been one of the best, most prolific jammers out for Hull today, has been put on as pivot. Very smart tactical play there by the bench coach. And I think we will soon see a star pass situation, because without being mean, I don't think Hijinks wants to be the jammer anymore.
I think she's had enough.
Take it away.
I just want to break.
No more jamming for me.
But Electrocute now having come past and completed another 5-point pass there. And it looks as though we're trying desperately to get that helmet cover over. Hijacks on her knees at the back of the pack, trying to pick it up to get that star over. She's right next to pivot now.
But while that's all happening at the front of the pack, Melancholy with a massive hit onto Electrocute. And there's another one, just in case you didn't see the first one. And really with Merv and Melancholy really giving some real horrid times to Electrocute, showing that Hull's defence is really tip-top.
Milv doing a cracking job up at the back of the pack there, pretty much holding down single-handedly. That star pass has now been completed to Smith, now the jammer for Hull. That's the jam called off, and it looks like we've got a team timeout that's been called by Hull.
Let's have a look at that replay if we can. Photographers in the way, but let's have a quick look. Beautiful work there from Electrocute, using those great skate skills to get around that last line of defence. And as I said, you've got officials on the track, you've got photographers, we've got people here, and of course this is a volunteer situation sport, so everyone giving up their time and skills to make this happen, and it is very much appreciated.
And as you're talking about skills there, we did mention a little bit earlier on, as you know, you can pretty much start roller derby with nothing.
Yeah.
You'll find a local league, and if you're lucky enough, they'll teach you how to skate. You do have to pass a certain set of minimum skills to be able to contact on track. It is a full contact sport, as we've seen here, a lot of contact action. Skaters falling on their knees, on their backsides a lot, sometimes awkwardly, and you know, we always make sure we've got medics on site to be able to cater for any injuries that do happen.
But also, if skating is maybe not quite what you're into, or high full contact skating, you could also become an official, on-skate official, off-skate official. Everybody kind of came from nowhere, really. This sport has organically grown people's skills. You know, myself, I'm a skater. My husband is an official. Roller derby is basically what happens in our house 24/7. You too could join the madness.
Ankle Biter picking up lead. Jammer for Cambridge Rollerbillies in control now with 169 points on the board, looking to extend that lead. The out of play warning goes up there for Thrill Murray.
Ankle Biter tried to do about 6 apex jumps in a go there. Was denied, styled it out quite well, but unfortunately wasn't legal. So recycled themselves to the back of the pack just as the jam was over. Let's have a quick look. Ooh, not quite. Oh, but so very close.
And as you were talking about roller derby a little bit there, it's recently celebrated its 83rd birthday. It's been around for a very long time.
Wowza. I don't think there's anyone here today that's been doing it for the 83 years.
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm sure there's probably, if you at home have been, let us know. Excuse me. Lisp straight through for lead jammer. They're literally taking seconds to get through. Cambridge with one blocker in the penalty box, but as we saw before, that's not really a problem for them. Although I'm sure they'd be very happy to have them back on track. Smith at the back of the pack there for Hull, struggling a little bit. We do have number 85. That is Wilkin, ready to take the star. But Lisp is coming around looking for some points, so you want to be building that wall up, Hull. Purdy's the word, last line of defence as always at the front of the pack, as we saw a star pass finally happen there to Wecken.
But not all to no avail as the jam was called off. That star was barely on a helmet cover.
So we have got just over 16 minutes left to go in this game. So we're looking at kind of like the last quarter coming up. 183 taken on 41 with a 14-point score in that last jam.
Still in the next sort of 16 and a half minutes or so, anything can happen.
It really could.
You know, there may be, as we said earlier on, they dubbed them the comeback kids. There might be something that happens that turns this game completely around. But you also might find that, what's also important is reducing that point differential, because this is what people are going to be thinking about and looking back to for next year's championships and coming into that, because you've got the winner of this moves up into the next tier. So it's going to be something that they're definitely going to be working on.
Yeah, and one of the things like they do in most of the sports, I'm very sure happens, skaters will be watching footage, normally in a pub with a burger or other healthier foods, but generally we all get together, watch the footage over, timestamp it, look over it, laugh at ourselves falling over, of course, that has to happen, but then we look at it seriously and build on it. So even if the game is not won, there is so many marginal gains you can take from it.
That is so true. Donna Kebabs now is lead jammer for Cambridge, and coming back round speedily into the back of that pack wall and picking up some more points, but a back block penalty. I think she just came in a little bit too hot. Taking a seat in the penalty box now, sitting for 30 seconds. And Thrill Murray is struggling to get through. She's taken the helmet cover off, so she's not going to be eligible for lead, which I don't think was assessed at that point anyway. So we're going to be running for the full 2 minutes unless she puts the helmet cover on and then laps everybody on track again, which I don't think is going to happen now. She's out ahead now, running for the full 2. I think it's more important to Hull at this point just to, rather than gaining control of the jam, it's just to get the points on the board. I think that's what they're looking for, especially now as Baps is going to be rejoining the pack, taking a bit of a run up from the outside, needing to be careful that she doesn't gain too much traction and get a skating out of bounds penalty. Oh, there's an outplay penalty there as well, failure to reform that I could hear from the track, from the referees.
Thrill Murray grabbing 5 points for Hull, 4 points currently on the board for Cambridge. 30 seconds and a bit to go in this jam. As we said, this jam will go for the full force, as we like to call it.
Yeah, 3-on-3 pack on the track at the minute. A blocker apiece off, 4 more points on the board for Thrill Murray.
And some lovely slalom style skating there from Donna Kebabs, coming round, grabbing some more points. But same for Thrill Murray. This really has been a kind of evensy style jam, but Hull have scored more points in this jam than Cambridge, as we currently have 18 to 13 on the scoreboard. But let's have a look and see what that does to the overall score. So we've got 193 taken on 54. So Cambridge ever closer to getting the double century mark. As I said, really not uncommon to see like 200, 300s being scored in roller derby. It's not like football where you have to wait ages just for 1 point.
As we saw some great hits there on the replay, Purd is the word taking a huge shoulder check into the jammer.
Wheelie Bins there coming around, but being greeted by quite a formidable defensive wall of Cambridge skaters. Really not what you want when you are trying to desperately get through as a jammer.
Yeah, Electrocute still struggling at the back as well. We've seen Electrocute managing to exploit the inside line quite a lot to her advantage and making sure that, you know, even the smallest gap is one that she can break through. But some nice work at the back now to keep her down. Recycling once again.
Beautiful 2-wall at the front of the pack, but it is Wheelie Bins finally, after almost a minute, gets through for lead. Penalty box is empty, so everyone's got the same amount of skaters to get past. So now we need to see that whole offense train pulling into the station, helping Wheelie Bins to get round the hips of the skaters. But she can see Electrocute coming around the track and calls it off. And that is enough train analogies for now.
Some great hits that we saw there from F-Bomb throughout this game. And that was a great jam for them as well. But Wheelie Bins really focused on that one as well.
Wheelie focused.
Wheelie focused. All right, full force on the track from both of the teams here now, full pack for the first time in a little while, I think. And Ankle Biter rejoining the back of the pack as Smith picks up lead up at the front there, but both of our jammers now out of the pack. Ankle Biter really chasing down as that pack starts to pick up the pace going into turns 3 and 4. They're giving the jammers a lot of hard work to do.
Oh, beautiful work there from Smith, and I believe that was number 8. That was a wrecking once more. That pairings, and what you do again often see in roller derby is one of the blockers and the jammer having that kind of marriage partnership of working together, and that was a lovely display of it just then. So score currently 194 to 57, 12 minutes left to go in this fabulous game here of the British Championships Promotional Playoff 2018 in Stoke. And that was a really bad accent, which I will refrain from doing ever again.
You can leave that to me if you like, because it does come naturally. Lisp and Thrill Murray jamming. Lisp is out to head for lead. The pack now spreading between turns 1 and 2, and a little bit of a tumble there for our Hull's pivot, I think.
Yeah, Hull's pivot trying to get themselves into position to either do last line of offense or pass the star, but looks like Thrill Collins going in alone at the front. Looks round, realises the pivot is behind them. Really not the best place to be, because if you're star passing, it's generally because you want to get the star out of there as quick as you can.
That's true. I mean, sometimes you can see a sneaky little pass go on. Sometimes they're trying to get it over the top of the opposing skaters. But I think, you know, however it happens, as soon as one of the opposing skaters catches wind of it, they're going to try and shut you down at every opportunity.
And it's really something that has become more and more prevalent in roller derby games in the last couple of years, is making the most of those star pass situations. And obviously if teams are making the most of star pass situations, the other team need to be stopping them happening. So you do what I call a push the pivot, grab the pivot and take them away.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, it's sorry, a little bit distracted by the action on track there. It is important that, you know, track awareness is something that comes with experience. It's like an innate ability to know what's going on, know where your teammates are without even having to look.
Yeah, definitely. And these teams, just like most teams around the world, will probably train together 2, 3, 4 times a week to build up that synergy with each other. Roller derby taking over sports halls all over the country.
F-Bomb now holding back that back line for Baps, doing a great job of it. Milv as well, holding the front part of the number 20 there in black.
Lovely bit of offense there once more from Hijinks. gets wheelie bins through for lead jammer, and again the crowd in the house here goes a little bit bananas.
Very nicely done. Now a scoring pass in situ for Bins. Coming through, trying to get around, but Baps has completed that initial pass. Obviously not lead, that's already been assessed. But both of our jammers on a scoring pass in the pack. Oh, and a hit there on Bins, calls it off, taking a knee on the outside of the track. But very nicely done. 2 more points on the board there for Hull. Denied anything from Cambridge, but Cambridge now on 203. Cambridge playing in the green tops, bright, predominantly green tops. Hull's Angels roller derby with 59, 203 to 59.
Nice empty penalty box, which is what we like to see. We've got Smith up against, I can't quite see who that is. It looks like Electrocute from here. Yes, it is. And Electrocute comes around our screen, grabbing lead jammer right in front of our very eyes. Off with the star goes Smith. Again, we might well see that star pass. Look at the position that Hijinks has put themselves in. Perfect star pass opportunity.
So that was a 5-point pass there, signalled very nicely from our inside pack referee. It makes it easy for us to determine that.
Hijinks now going to the penalty box, so Smith not being able to pass the star even if they wanted to.
Electrocute picking up another 5-point pass, just bouldering their way around the inside of the pack, but not an awful lot of contention down that inside lane as they're coming back up again for another fight with that black wall at the back. They're actually not giving her any leeway this time. They thought, you know, 2 passes is 2 passes too many. Nice big hit there.
This defence from Hull is really quite formidable and one to watch. We see Merv there coming around the front, but is out of play, so has to let the jammer go, even if you don't want to.
Yeah, absolutely. The engagement zone, 20 feet in front and ahead of the rear of the pack as well. You know, I think you get to the point where, you can just stretch it and stretch it and stretch it until you hear the referee just give you the warning that you're out of play.
And we've had star pass now over to Hijinks, has come out of the penalty box, redeemed themselves by grabbing the star to help out the star situation. And I don't think Cambridge noticed, because are we going to see a couple of points on the board for Cambridge? Our jam referees are having a quick discussion.
Nice replay that we can see there for you.
And we are into an official review situation. So as we said earlier, this is where the skaters can have a chat with each other. The officials and the team captain can have a discussion to see if something they're not quite happy with can be overturned. Or, well, yeah, overturned. That's what you want, isn't it?
Essentially, you can basically say, well, I'm pretty sure this penalty happened. You missed it. We want it assessed. Or we're pretty sure this penalty didn't happen.
So rescind it.
Yeah, or it could be, well, we think we actually got 4 points there instead of 3 or 2.
Yeah.
So it's a case of trying to figure out what's happening. All the referees regroup, they have a chat to see what's happened, because when you've got eyes on the track from literally all angles, you've got your 3 skating referees on the outside, and then you've got your 2 jammer referees and your pack referee on the inside as well. It makes it really easy to be able to form an overall picture really of everything that's going on. You also have an alternate referee who's somebody that will be sitting watching. They'll stand in if they need to. They can help feedback to the in-house announcers. Hopefully as soon as we get some information from our in-house announcers downstairs, we'll feed back to our lovely producer Storm Again, and we'll be able to give you an update and let you know what's gone on. So we'll tell you what they've been requesting, we'll tell you what the decision is, and if it is that it's taking place and they win essentially the official review.
And the official review has been called by Hull. They're requesting a penalty to one of the Cambridge skaters for an illegal assist. Now, we don't have any more information, but I'm going to say it's likely to be one of the blockers helping the jammers, maybe out of bounds, maybe outside of the engagement zone, basically doing something they shouldn't have been doing to help the jammer get into a better position. This would mean, if this was correct, we would be seeing one of Cambridge in the penalty box.
Yes.
We do not, so I don't think it takes a magician to tell us. That means that the official review was unsuccessful.
Yep.
Game will carry on as it were, and that means that Hull cannot call another official review now forever until the next game.
Very nicely put. Back on track now, we've got Ankle Biter and Wheelie Bins. Big thumbs up to our in-house announcers for passing that information along, doing a fantastic job.
And doing a fantastic job is Wheelie Bins jamming there for Hull. But oh my gosh, look hot on their heels. It is the Ankle Biter, and Ankle Biter got in front, which meant Wheelie Bins had to call it off. No points in the bag for anyone. I like to call that potatoes, because that's what zeros look like.
6.5 minutes-ish left on the clock, and 225 points on the board for Cambridge Rollerbillies playing in green, 59 points on the board for Hull's Angels Roller Derby playing in black. Both are a little bit confusing because they're both green and black.
Oh. I think the most popular colours in roller derby are like green, black and pink, and you will see lots of teams playing in them.
Oh, we've seen a lot of that this weekend as well.
And then you see, like, there's always a team. I think there's a team in Sweden called that play in brown. Is it Dirty River?
Yeah.
So lead has gone to Thrill Murray there, but we have had a star pass over to Hermaphrodite for Cambridge. Will Thrill, oh hello, be able to get through, score some points? No, but they do get to deny Cambridge the opportunity to score, so not quite a win, but you know, a good pat on the back for that.
Yeah, absolutely. For the next 5.5 minutes, I think that's really what they're going to be focusing on. They're going to be working really hard to up that defence, to just try and keep them down. And, you know, if they get the opportunities to score points in the meantime, I think that's going to be an added bonus for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Try and keep that differential to, you know, as smaller gap as possible. I mean, it is pretty huge at the moment, but so, you know, we've got an inkling of which way this game's going, unless something phenomenal happens in the next 5 minutes.
But hold on to your hats, folks at home, because anything could happen in the next 5 minutes. And I'm sure you'll agree this has been a fantastic, high-octane, skill-filled athletic game of roller derby in front of your very eyes. And if this is the first time you've watched roller derby, thank you for joining us, and I really hope you're enjoying it.
We've got Donica Baps now, lead jammer for Cambridge, and we've had a star pass to Russian Panda.
Any relation?
No, yeah, she's my Russian cousin.
Amazing.
But that was short-lived, to no avail. 4 points on the board there for Cambridge. Nice little replay on track. A big hit there going on at the front.
Yeah, just enjoying that replay as well. Love watching the slowed down action. I like watching the expressions on people's faces. It's like, oh my God, I've scored.
We've seen a lot of Baps in action there. Electrocute lining up to jam against Smith.
The crowd now in-house really getting behind. I think both teams, we can't quite hear from here. We're just going to assume everyone's cheering for everybody. As we look at this beautiful double defense happening on track right now. Lead not called 20 seconds in.
Both of the teams now have got all their blockers back on the track, and it is Smith for Hull picking up lead jammer. That pack now moving towards turn one, not having gone very far just yet now, as we've got Smith coming through for a scoring pass. Nice little bit of footwork on the outside, but knocked off track, so needing to recycle.
Star pass there for Cambridge over to Hermaphrodite once more. But just as we've seen many times, as soon as the star pass happens and you've grabbed some points, call off the jam as Smith does. 5 points in the bag there for Hull.
Yeah, I think the tactics here are becoming abundantly clear, and as we mentioned previously, or we speculated, actually that is the case. So very nicely done, with just shy of 3 minutes left on the clock. 229 points on the board for Cambridge Rollerbillies. Hull's Angels Roller Derby on 64. It would be great if they could break the 100.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. And what will also be amazing is the game coming up after this, as we see Rebellion taking on Norfolk in our final game here. But back to the action on track. Ankle Biter, such a great jammer for Cambridge. Through for lead as we see the star pass from Thrill over to your Russian Panda cousin.
Russian Panda once again lining up to take that. And not somebody that we've seen picking up any star passes too much until now. I think they've saving the Panda till the end. Yeah,
a little bit of fresh legs, and I think we're going to be treated to another Ankle Biter apex jump.
Unfortunately, wasn't quite landed inbounds, took a bit of a tumble and needed to recycle, but it was nicely done.
apparently Russian Panda used to play in France. So I was thinking that note was going to say in Russia. But there we go. They're a very international panda. I'm loving it.
Well, we do have skaters that join us from, not only the far reaches of the UK. We do have skaters that will be playing for other national teams out there as well.
Yeah, we did have the Roller Derby World Cup this year that saw so many teams competing from countries perhaps you wouldn't expect, like Iran. We had Israel there, we had Romania. It was fantastic, but what is also fantastic is Lisp in the dying minutes of this game grabbing lead while Wheelie Bins is struggling at the back of the pack, and I think we're going to be treated to another Star Pass.
Yeah, again, we're seeing a lot of these go on. It's good tactical play because they're thinking, well, we just want to get that jammer out in front, and the best way to do it, save having to just keep absorbing those hits and going on, it's past the star. It makes tactical sense to not tire yourselves out too much at this point in the game where we've only got a minute or so left.
Yeah, definitely. But we do have everybody just checking. We do currently have everybody on the track at the moment. Of course, as I say that, we do lose one of Cambridge to the penalty box. Lisp taking on Wheelie Bin still. 36 seconds left of this period to go. Star pass over to Wilkin.
I think that's the first time we've seen Wilkin done in that star.
But maybe they should have done it more often.
Bringing out the big guns now toward the end of the game with a 4-point pass there. Lisp, I think, has got her biggest scoring jam of the game, if I'm not mistaken. That's another 4 points on the board, so 19 so far, but Hull really picking it up in what is most likely going to be the very last jam of the game with 10 seconds remaining. Another 4 points on the board. Wilkin doing a cracking job in this last jam. It's just what Hull needed to bring it out for the last few seconds of the game.
And there you go, Panda. That is your unofficial score. That is the end of the game. So we do have to wait for the head referee to sign some paperwork to say that is the official score. But I think we are very safe in saying that Cambridge have taken home the win in this final game for Tier 3 West.
We've got I think what was possibly the highest scoring jam of the game to end there, the conclusion for Cambridge. 252 versus 75 is the unofficial score at the moment.
We can see our officials going over to the scoreboard to check in with the non-skating officials, signing off the paperwork so that this game can be officially documented forever and correct. We see the teams giving themselves lots of love and encouragement back to each other. The teamwork and camaraderie you get in roller derby is like no other. And we will now be seeing our audience members coming to the side of the track to do the obligatory hand slaps. Skater skate round, you put your hand out, everybody high fives, everybody's happy and has a wonderful day here at the roller derby.
I'm having a very glittery Sunday looking at those guys out there. Myself, I have a similarly glittery.
And we've both got glittery shoes on. And that is your final there, Pandas. So 75 points to Hull, 250 points to Cambridge. Roller Billies, wonderful gameplay, I'm sure you'll agree, for everybody.
Yeah, that last jam was really exciting. Wilkin pulled it out of the bags, did an incredibly good job. Sad to say we're going to be leaving you here shortly.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. As I said before, if this was your first roller derby experience, thank you so much for taking a risk, coming to watch our crazy sport, seeing what it's all about, and I hope you will stay on and watch the next game. It's been my absolute pleasure to bring this game to you. I've been Very Cherry from Central City Roller Derby.
And I'm Pandemonium from, well, nowhere really.
Oh, an independent.
I'm from Stoke, that's where we are.
And we've been produced wonderfully by Stormageddon. Thank you once more for joining us, and stay around for the next game in around 12 minutes.